Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about some stuff that's in the news, put my Gen X perspective on it. And to start out, the thing that's making the biggest splash right now is all the evidence Tulsi Gabbard saying she has about what Barack Obama did back when Trump first ran for president, and the campaign interference, Russia collusion, Russia hoax, and all that shit, right? And Trump's taken to his Truth Social, and he's posting about it and all the noise they're making, right, about it. And it's pretty obvious. I've known it the whole time. Well, I haven't known it, but I've suspected it the whole time that you know, the Trump or the Obama administration and that whole thing was involved in spying on Trump and undermining him and all that. What I know even more, what I'm even more sure of, is that no one's going to be arrested. There will be no consequences. Nothing is going to happen of this. Trump will make some posts and rail in all caps about, you know, how horrendous all this stuff was, and he knew it all along or whatever. And Tulsi Gabbard's going to do some stuff on social media and hit some interviews on Fox or something. But nobody's going to be arrested. Nothing's going to happen. It's all a big smoke and mirrors show. I don't understand why they even do it. I'm sure that it's one of those, you know, magic prop things. Look at this hand while I do something else with this hand type of thing. But that's just the way it goes. They never suffer consequences for their actions, whether it was what was done with the Obama administration, whether it was legitimate and it was some bad stuff done, and Trump is upset about it, right? Actually genuinely upset about it. Or the other possibility is that it's some kind of 4D chess thing, right? Like I'm playing 3D chess, but they're up there playing 4D chess, and I'm supposed to think that they're at odds or something, when they're really not. The whole thing was a setup. It was a plan. It was a psyop. So I don't know which one to believe right now with the way Trump's acting, with all this other stuff that's going on. For the last few years, since he got elected the first time, I've just supported him. I thought it was all the leftists, the progressives, that side of things. And, you know, a lot of Republicans and shit. I'm not talking about Democrat or Republican. I'm just talking about deep state. It was the deep state. All right. And against Trump. Now I'm not so sure in light of recent events. So I'm just more questions have risen in my mind now. But still, I'm fairly sure that Obama's administration and the deep state did some shit. I don't know whether it was pre-planned and orchestrated or whether it was just some dirty shit they did. I have no idea. But I do have a pretty good idea that there will be no consequences for it. Absolutely zero. None. And the other bit of news, political anyway, is that I guess the Justice Department is trying to get the Epstein grand jury records unsealed and stuff. And to me, at this point, good for them. You know what I mean? I would like to see some stuff happen. I really would. I'd like to see some people go to jail. I'd like to see some people exposed. But let's be honest, it's not going to happen. They can get the grand jury. That's just a thing, you know. They're doing something because we're demanding they do something. We're demanding they do something. We're making such a big fuss about it that they feel like they have to do something, so they're going to do it, and it will all amount to shit. It will be nothing. We will know after this grand jury records are unsealed. We will know then exactly what we know now. Nothing. No one will be held accountable, no consequences, nothing. The only consequences are the victims of all these kitty diddlers and sex traffickers and stuff. Those victims will suffer consequences for the rest of their lives, but the people who enacted these crimes, they will get away scot-free. That's just my view on it. That's the way it goes. That's the way it's always gone. Why the hell is it going to change now? I thought it was going to change. You asked me 6 months ago, I would have said, yeah, it's about to change, but it's not changing. It's the same tune we've been listening to for our entire lives. So for those of you holding your breath, waiting for these grand jury files to be unsealed, good luck. Good luck. I would go ahead and sneak a breath in there once in a while so you stay alive, because I do not think that they're going to show us anything. And the other thing in the news is that that Harvard University is suing the Trump administration for $2.6 billion for the federal funds they're withholding. $2.6 billion. Okay. Now, it doesn't say in the thing I researched whether or not that 2.6 billion goes directly to Harvard, or if that's scattered out across several schools. But I believe it goes directly to Harvard. Either way, with all the tuitions people are paying, and it's a private school, it's not a public government-run institution. So why is our tax money going to a private business, a private school? How expensive are these damn books? And what is going on? Where is all that money going? Where are they spending all that money? Why do they need $2.6 billion, even if it's 10 or 12 schools? What $2.6 billion? That's a whole lot of money. That's up there in the unimaginable. I can't even, you try to count to 2.6 billion. You couldn't do it in 3 lifetimes. So this kind of shit just kills me. What the hell does a school like Harvard, what are they trying to do with all this money? What are they doing with all this money? They don't need the money. So if the government is giving them $2.6 billion, then tuition should be free. They should be schooling these kids for free. They shouldn't be charging them a dime. But that's not what we see. So what are we funding with $2.6 billion of our tax money? That's what I have. That's a question I have. What the hell is going on? So I don't give a shit about Trump and Harvard and their lawsuit or whatever. This should never have begun. Whoever started kicking Harvard our tax money should have been gone to jail, in my opinion, a long decades ago. And it's just bullshit. And my favorite news topic of the day is the plague victim in Arizona. Yeah, it's causing kind of a panic there in Arizona because someone died of the plague. The plague. How the hell does one case of the plague pop up in Arizona? I ask you. Does anybody have any idea? The plague. Not COVID or, Ebola or anything like that. The plague. Arizona is on the border, the southern border. So I guess, somebody could have brought it up through the border, one of the migrants. But still, that's just mind-boggling to me. How the hell do we have the plague in the 21st century? One single episode of it, it's crazy. The plague. That's some medieval shit. But, yeah, I think about that and the plague, and it's popping up now in the 21st century, and it takes me right to the fact that I would be have more feelings about it. One person with the plague in Arizona, I would feel differently about it And actually, I would be excited about it if that dude, jumps up in a week or two and starts biting people. All right. So, if it's some kind of zombie plague, then I'll have a reason to be a little more involved in this emotionally. You know what I'm saying? I might get some stirrings of excitement if that they start stumbling around biting each other down there in Arizona. And people gotta fight them off with machetes and katanas and baseball bats and shit. Then I'll start paying a little more attention to the plague in Arizona. Yeah, I understand that is probably unlikely, but still, I can hope. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a zombie apocalypse here. We don't get to see that one very often. We get scared with the nuclear apocalypse and the climate apocalypse. We get scared with different apocalypses once in a while, but not the zombie one. The zombie one, they don't pull that one out of their hat very often and scare us with it. So I'm kind of got my hopes up for the zombie apocalypse via the plague in Arizona. And another thing is that I heard that Corbijn or whatever, that late night talk show host or one of those guys, I don't know their names. I don't watch that shit. But I guess they're just doing all the way away with his talk show. I don't know which one it is, the Tonight Show or Late Night with whoever or whatever. I don't know which one it is. It was one of those late night talk shows. And, only boomers watch that shit anymore. I think the average viewer age when it ended was 68, the average age of the viewership. So it just boomers watching that shit. So, good riddance to that dude. I've never watched an episode of it. The last time I watched a late night show was Johnny Carson, honestly. Since then, I haven't, once he retired, I just quit watching that shit. But good riddance to that kind of bullshit. I have seen excerpts and sound bites from that guy, and it's just all really progressive, left-wing, deep state bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's all he spouted. He despised Trump and despises America, despises freedom, and, touted the vaccine and all that shit. It just, everything you can think of that is horrible for the country, he was pro. He was all for it. And that's in the most despicable way, the most disgusting way he could be on TV from the sound bites and stuff I saw. Like I said, I don't watch that shit. I don't think anybody below the age of 65 watches it, and they're all the viewers are in their 60s and 70s now. Well, used to be. There's nothing to view anymore. It finally died and went away. All that legacy media is going that route. It's just drying up and blowing away. You know what I mean? As the boomers age out of it, and that's their only viewership is boomers, and their population is getting less and less. So their viewership is getting less and less because the people don't exist anymore. You know what I mean? And they're not picking up new viewers out of Gen X or Gen Z or millennials. We don't want to watch that bullshit. So yeah, good riddance to that shit. Let it all die. It's propaganda. That legacy media is bullshit. It's dying. It's practically dead. The only thing that's keeping it on life support is the boomer population. So I wish they would quit watching that dumb shit. But whatever. So that's the news for today. I might start doing this once in a while, just going over the news and giving my opinion on the stuff. So if y'all enjoyed this episode, let me know. Drop a comment and let me know if y'all want to see more of this stuff. Maybe I'll get a little more involved in this and do some current events kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll leave that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I'll leave that link down in the description too. And thank you to any of you who decide to do that. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we have some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff. I just put up a new design, question everything. I don't know if y'all saw the post I put on YouTube, but I thought that was a pretty cool design for a t-shirt or a hat or something. But I'll leave that link down in the description for any of you who are interested. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a hell of a lot, so thank you very much to those of you who do that. I really do appreciate it. And if you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments. Or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.